Plastic model builders, welcome back to some more model making madness. This is the last section that we did of the F-15E Strike Eagle by Revell. It's a 1/48 scale. You saw we painted the landing gear there. We put the fuselage together, the front and the back. So now what we're doing is we're assembling the wings on this airplane. So we already fit those two halves together. We are now working on the wings. While we're doing this, you see you got to get some of the flashing off. Make sure your wings are nice and fresh on each side. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm a little under the weather, so if I sound a little different, that might be why. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you can do a really deep voice like this just because, you know, you've got that morning cold. So anyway, we are putting on the wings right here. You see me putting the glue on, and we're going to use clothespins, and those will hold the glue as it dries. We are going to put on this little bit right here. You see how that fit? A little test fit. Put the glue light around the edges. You don't have to get too much. I get too much all the time, so, you know, do as I say, not as I do. You know how that saying goes. So here we are. Final fitting. Fits nice and easy. Here's the other wing. You know, do the same exact procedure for this one. Same way. Fits nice and easy. So here we are sanding the top of this front fuselage nose area. This is going to meet up with the main fuselage. You know, this is where the seam is. They put it right down the middle. Not too bad, not a big deal. We'll take off these clothespins here, inspect everything, see how it looks. If you want, you can do some other work, but for now we are going to put on the main fuselage right here with the front fuselage. However you want to call it, nose piece, whatever, and there it goes, fits on nice and easy. And it's not exactly seamless, but fairly decent. So these are going to be the front of the intakes. They were designed kind of weird, but it worked out. These are the fuel tanks that they had that go on the side of the airplane. That's what makes the F-15E Strike Eagle a little bit different than the predecessors. That's what it looks like. It's got those big tanks on the sides. So file these down a little bit. They had some little circles in there from the molds that you probably got to get rid of. You know, just pay attention and look at what you're doing. That way you can do it right and make it look pretty. So, doing some sanding work. It's important. You can see where I'm sanding all those little circles off there. If you don't sand them, they will show through and they will be on your model permanently after you paint it. But do what you want. It's yours, of course. So here we are sanding this down. This is where I had the glue joint. Try to make this look the best I can. It came out fairly decently. Maybe you can do a better job than me. Who knows? I liked it. Turned out all right. So that's the front landing gear. There was no way to do this model without putting that front landing gear in. It's just the way it was designed and easier to do, getting it all in one. So you see I put in that first section of the intake. Go along the edge here. This is the other side. There's one piece that slides right on in. And now you have to do the top section of it. You see joints right there on the side, and then that little flap there, which is the underside of the intake. And then you'll just kind of slide this piece right into place, and fits fairly well. Very little seams, not a lot of work to do there. This model did come out very well, by the way. I liked how it came out. So put on the second section right here, same exact procedures before, and that's what it looks like. Easy enough, you know. So if there's more work that you'd like to do to it, by all means do it. Here's the landing gear. A lot of pieces. So, you know, this model, these videos, it took a little bit of time to do because there was a lot of work here. We are putting on the fuel tanks as they go on the side, so you got to put these little tabs on first. Then you can kind of just slide the fuel tank in place and it stays. You see some flashing there. You're going to have to get rid of all that. I did, because that's so it meets up properly. It looks like it belongs, but it really doesn't. So you can see all that there, and here I am just scraping a little bit. I could show you all of that, but that would not be any fun, now would it? So get your glue, go all the way around, and we'll take care of this. One last little section here, and we'll just put this right onto the plane. You see how it fits right here. You slide it on that tab just like we did on the last one. As I showed you, that was actually really a test fit, so this is how we're actually doing it. You got to press it firm, make sure it meets up in all the right spaces. So I got super glue after this is dried. And this is thin stuff, so I tried to use super glue instead of like masking putty or things like that. Fill the super glue to try to fill that seam in a little bit. This is the air brake. Has the option to make this go up or down. I made mine down just because I didn't feel like dealing with the hassle of an extra piece, and I'm glad I did that because it turned out really nicely as it is. It's a great plane. I love this plane. This is the front of the canopy, the housing for it, not the actual canopy itself, of course, but you know, the part that goes up and down. So we'll take that out. You got your tail fins, you got your engine exhaust ports right here. Those ones get quite tedious to do, and we will spend quite a time and bit doing those. Here we got some more missile rails. You know, what's a plane without missile rails, right? You gotta have missile rails and drop bomb tanks. And these are the pods that go on the sides. There's 2 of those, 1 each half, so you know you gotta cut 4 pieces out for that. A lot of cutting here, of course, because just a lot of missile rails and bomb rails. The plane does not have a lot of armament on it, though. It only comes with 4 Sidewinder missiles and 2 drop tanks. But hey, good enough for me. I was happy with this model. Didn't really require too much. I love the color of it. It came out great. These are the rails as well that you see. They go on the side of those fuel tanks. So clip out those. There are 2 of them. We got our wheels. We'll have to get those painted. These are the rear wheels. Of course, you know there's 2 sets of those. So here's the second set. Of course. Got one set, you got to have the other. So a couple ways to glue these. You can put the tabs on there and press the pin ends into the box section. That's one way, or you could just go all the way around and then press these 2 halves together. And just remember, watch out for the glue. It's got a little flat spot on there. That way it can rest firmly on an even surface. Not a lot of models have that, but this one does. So this is one of the pods. Working on that one. Then we'll do the other pod. You see, just put the glue all the way around, clamp it together. And here we go, all done. Now this bomb half right here, we got to sand the top of this because of the joint that was on there. So I said you should sand it. You don't have to, but that's what I did, and you can see me sanding it there. I probably used my favorite method of, you know, let the glue go over it and then just kind of like scrape it off, and it leaves a pretty cool seam there. So putting some super glue on this, I didn't use regular cement. This is just for the air brake. Pressed it down and it stayed in place rather quickly, which is always a plus. So here we go. These are more for missile rails and all sorts of stuff and bombs. Be careful when you put these on. They do have a specific order, so if you cut them all out, you're going to have trouble figuring out which ones go where. So either mark them or just do them one at a time. That's the best advice I can give to you with these little pylons. So see, they even got those little tabs in there. Got to get all the flashing off of these. There's that line right there down the center. So a lot of little tedious work on this model. Not going to lie, it's all there. These hold the missiles in place, of course, that we don't even have with the models and the bombs because it, well, doesn't have any. So just cut out each one of them. There's a total of 6 of these. See me just going one way and then right back the other, just kind of like a train. So get all those, and those are all done, all 6 of them. Just kind of, I had to press mine out a little bit. Glue these into place right here. You see you got those little tabs, and they should fit nicely right on the side of this plane. And you see me putting them in. You see the little registration marks, the box ends and the pins where they fit, those tabs. So here we go. Got that whole side there, and that's what they look like. And this is the last one on the other side. Didn't bother to show you all of them because you get the point. So here's a little another rail that also goes onto this plane. Like I said, it's got a lot of missile rails, but doesn't come with much armament at all. So, or ordnance, whatever you want to call it. Press that into place. It fit very well. This is the other side. Just repeat the same process. Of course, making sure you know you have the right side for the right plane because there's a lot of curves in this. So the curves do matter, believe it or not. It's got to go on the right side. Make it look pretty. This is the rear gear doors. As you can see, I haven't painted any of these yet, so I decided to just put them in. It was easier to do this. You did see they were kind of an off gray, so I probably primed them a little bit because gloss white doesn't always show up so well. Just put the little glue on there and then slide them into place, and they will hold just fine if you do it right. This here will go on the top of the canopy. It kind of holds it together. And here are more of the exhaust nozzles that we have. There are 6 of these, so just cut out all 6. I don't show me putting them together because I had a little snafu with the camera. You got to get these things cut out. There's a lot of these things. Good thing I had my little snips here because these things, you could tell they're real flimsy and they go everywhere. So first things are, you got to put the nozzles together like this. They will fit nice and round, just be careful. So this is a tricky part. I use super glue. The problem I had is I already painted my nozzles, so take heed for me, don't paint your nozzles ahead of time. Wait until you're doing this to paint the nozzles after this is done, because your glue will stick a lot better. I use super glue, so, and tweezers, of course. This was hard. There's all these that you got little inserts that you have to go around. I'm showing you the far away view, but I'll also show you the close-up view of where each of these things tends to go. So here we go. So you put a little super glue there using my what do you call this? It's a paper clip opened up. You see it's got some little slots there. You got to put it in the middle slot and then kind of press it down. They don't all fit perfectly, so it is what it is. Put in the panel for our heads-up display. It's going to go right here. We can paint that later. It will go black. Just kind of press it in place. Watch your finger for the glue. Of course, you don't want to get that everywhere. Note, these are the tail fins. Notice that they are different. I already cut mine out before I paid attention to that, so I had to go back and try to find which one went in which spot. So pay attention, as I said. That way you get which one goes where. And I'm showing you here. That way you kind of already know. I did the homework for you. That way you don't have to do it. Probably could have looked on the box too, but it was a little bit hard to see on the box. But you can see that one there was the thicker one. So this is the tail hook. I'm putting this in here. Word of advice, don't do that. Save it for last until the plane is already done, because it doesn't need to be there, and it's just an extra part that can get broken. You can just lightly press it in. So here's a quick preview. We're going to put some primer onto this model, and after that we're going to do some panel lines because it looks great. I thank you for watching this video. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see the latest updated videos when they come out, and they will come out every 2 weeks. I can hopefully guarantee you that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, and like. Here we are putting on the panel lines. See ya!